seems to have rectified itself. Michael Warren clipped the back of Paul Wood's back wheel there, and unfortunately has come down. He looks to be in a bit of trouble, and the red lights do come on as the riders approach the finishing line, and no doubt that will be an awarded result too. But let's hope that Michael Warren is okay after that awkward looking tumble there when he clipped the back wheel rather of Paul Wood's machine. Certainly he's down on his haunches at the moment, being seen to by the St John Ambulance Brigade, and his team partner Tony Olsen going to check that he's okay. But he's up on his feet, and it looks as if he's none the worse for wear. Well, going into heat number 7 then, the Hawks holding a slender 2-point advantage, and reading across from the inside in gate number 1, it's Pavel Karnas. In gate 2 in yellow, it's Dean Standing. Gate 3 in blue, it's Simon Phillips. And on the outside in white, it's Brian Nixon. And the riders taking time to settle for the start of heat number 7, being brought into line by the starting Martian, Kevin Morley. So very shortly we'll be underway with this 7th race. And Dean Standing made a very good start there, but Pavel Karnas pushes him wide on the first bend, and Simon Phillips comes through to join him. So can Phillips hold on this time? You may recall he was in 2nd place in heat number 2 when he unfortunately fell on the final bend. But Phillips riding certainly very well tonight, thrust into first team action in the absence of Dave Hamnett, whose work permit has not come through yet, but he's now coming under pressure from Brian Nixon for that 2nd spot. But certainly he's doing well to hold out the Australian, but it looks as if Nixon has got an inside line on him, but Phillips screws it on around the outside and just about holds on. But has he gone too wide there? Yes, he has, and Nixon is through on the inside to claim that 2nd place. But nevertheless, Phillips doing well here to hold Dean Standing, who's trailed off at the back. So it looks as if Hackney will gain a further advantage from this heat. And Pavel Karnas takes the checkered flag ahead of Brian Nixon, with Simon Phillips claiming a good 3rd spot there for a 4-2 to the Hawks to extend their lead to 23 points to 19. Well, heat number 8 coming up now, and this could be a vital one in terms of the final match result. Hackney go into this heat holding a 4-point lead at 23 points to 19. And certainly Michael Warren will be hoping to have a better race than the last one when he fell off. And he's out of the start, and with partner Roland Pollard there, it looks as if Hackney are set fair for a 5-1. Pollard goes through to the lead on the inside. Warren there holding a comfortable 2nd place ahead of the rider in yellow, who's John Sermon. But we saw John Sermon make a late charge in heat number 2, and it remains to be seen if he can do the same here in heat number 8. But certainly Roland Pollard stretching away in 1st place, and Michael Warren seemingly in no danger in 2nd place. So it looks as if Hackney are going to extend their lead to 8 points here by taking a 5-1. Certainly Sermon does not seem to be able to mount a challenge now to the Hackney pairing, who are going further and further away, and barring a mechanical failure for either Pollard or Warren, it's going to be a Hackney 5-1. Round the last bend, Roland Pollard comes up for his 1st win of the evening, Michael Warren in 2nd, John Sermon in 3rd, and sailed off at the back, it's John Cooper. So a 5-1 there to the Hackney Hawks extends their lead to 8 points at 28 points to 20. Well, the Hawks go into heat number 9, 8 points to the good, and Paul Whitaker lining up on gate number 2, looking for his 3rd win of the evening. From the inside, it's Paul Woods. In gate 2, Paul Whitaker. In gate 3, it's Justin Walker. And on the outside, Simon Phillips. And going into the first bend, it's Paul Whitaker, who's made the best start ahead of Paul Woods, but Simon Phillips swoops around the outside, and certainly young Simon looking very impressive indeed. And just as I said that, of course, he slides off on the 3rd bend. But nevertheless, a good try there for young Simon, who's picked himself up and got going again. But Paul Whitaker is out in the lead and doesn't look like being caught. Paul Woods holding 2nd place for the Eagles, with Justin Walker 3rd. And unlucky there on Simon Phillips. So Paul Whitaker now looking very impressive indeed. His third win of the evening about to come up as he takes the quartered flag, indicating the last lap. He's certainly 30 or 40 yards clear of Paul Woods, and coming up to take the checkered flag very shortly for his third win on the trot. In second place it's Paul Woods. In third place Justin Walker. But spare a thought there for young Simon Phillips, who swoops around the outside on the first bend to take second spot, only to fall on the third bend. So the points shared there, 3-all. Progressively it's Hackney 31, Eastbourne 23. 8 points down. Eagles team manager Gareth Rogers has not made any tactical substitutions going into Heat 10, and that lines up as per programme. And it's Michael Warren who gates from the inside, closely followed by his partner Tony Olsen, who's unbeaten so far tonight, and Olsen goes around the outside to take the lead, and Warren holds the inside line to hold off the two Eagles, who are John Sermon in yellow holding third, and Dean Standing at the back. But you have to remember that Dean Standing has not ridden so far this year, so that may explain his performance so far tonight. But nevertheless, another good heat coming up for Hackney, as Olsen leads from Warren, and they are gradually pulling away from Sermon in third place. Olsen so far, of course, has been immaculate for Hackney this year, clocking up double-figure scores wherever he's gone, and certainly it doesn't look as if, on the form he's shown so far, he's likely to be beaten tonight. So coming round the final bend, about to take his third win of the evening, that's Tony Olsen in first place. In second place, Michael Warren, and third for the Eagles in yellow and black, it's John Sermon. So another maximum heat advantage for the Hawks, who stretch their lead now to 12 points at 36 points to 24. Well, heat number 11 now, and still Eastbourne yet to make a tactical substitution. They line up with Gordon Kennett and John Cooper, and facing them for the Hawks is Pavel Karnas in red and Roland Pollard in blue. And from the tapes, it's Kennett and Karnas who bump into each other going into that first bend, but Karnas comes out into the lead ahead of Kennett. Pollard goes round the outside of John Cooper to snatch third place going into the third bend, and it looks as if Hackney are set to extend their lead even further in heat number 11. Karnas now 5 or 6 yards ahead of Kennett, who's holding as usual his tight inside line. Pollard now well clear of John Cooper, who's beginning to tail off at the back. Certainly the track conditions are a little bit slick tonight, not surprising in view of the weather that we've had in the capital, not conducive to overtaking, and it looks as if Karnas is set for his second win on the trot. Kennett making no impression, and Roland Pollard some way back in third. But coming round the final bend and coming to take the checkered flag, his second win on the trot for Czechoslovakian Pavel Karnas. In second place for the Eagles, it's Gordon Kennett, and in third place once again for the Hawks, it's Roland Pollard. So a 4-2 there to the Hawks, extends their lead now to 40 points to 26. Well, heat number 12 coming up, the Hackney Hawks holding a healthy 14-point lead, and this one once again, as per programme, from gate 1 in red, it's Tony Olsen. In gate 2 in yellow and black, it's Brian Nixon. In gate 3, impressive in his last outing, in blue, it's Tim Hunter. And on the outside, it's Paul Woods. And once again, it's the Hackney pairing who jet from the start, but Hunter comes down on that first bend, and a good lay down there by the experienced Paul Woods to miss him. But that race obviously stopped in the interest of safety by tonight's referee, John Homer. Referee Homer's decision is a restart with all 4 riders. So here we go, lining up for the restart. Riders and colours, as I say, as per programme. And the starting marshal walks away as the green light comes on. And once again, it's Olsen who makes the flying start, and Hunter desperately trying to join him, but he's pushed wide by Nixon, coming out of the third bend, and Paul Woods gratefully nips through on the inside for third place and tucks in behind his Eastbourne teammate. And certainly Hunter almost got there to join Olsen on that first bend, but couldn't quite make it. But nevertheless, he's showing much more promise this week than he did in the match against Exeter. But Olsen now sailing away to what looks to be his fourth victory of the evening, chased hard by Australian Brian Nixon, with Paul Woods some way back in third place. So going into the last lap, Olsen, who looks very impressive indeed, ahead of Nixon, and it doesn't look as if the race order is going to change in the half lap or so that's remaining. So coming up now to take the checkered flag for his fourth win of the evening is Tony Olsen. In second place for the Eagles, Brian Nixon. Third in white, also for the Eagles, Paul Woods. And just crossing the line now, Australian Tim Hunter. Heat number 12 drawn now, 3-all. Progressively, it's Hackney 43, Eastbourne 29. And going into heat number 13, we've just seen Tony Olsen collect his fourth win of the night, and his skipper Paul Whitaker will be hoping to join him as he takes his fourth ride of the night, riding in blue on the inside. Next to him in gate 2 in white, it's Gordon Kennett. A disappointing night so far for the former world number 2. In gate 3 in red, it's Czechoslovakian Pavel Karnas, and on the outside it's Dean Standing. And once again it's Whitaker who makes a lightning start from the tapes, closely followed by Kennett, with Karnas in third, and Karnas looking for an inside line against Kennett coming out of the first bend, but Kennett has held the line well and moves to the dirt on the outside and pulls out a little bit of a lead on Karnas. But meanwhile, Paul Whitaker is a whale and sailing into the sunset in the lead, looking to collect his fourth win of the night. Karnas trying the outside to see if he can make up ground on Kennett for that second place. But Kennett, as ever, holding an immaculate inside line, and it looks as if he's going to sew up that second position. But Karnas is a real trier. He never gives up from start to finish, but he's got less than a lap to make up the leeway on Kennett, and it doesn't look as if he's going to be able to do that. But one last effort round the final bend. He moves to the outside, but Kennett is there blocking his line, and he holds on to second behind Paul Whitaker, who collects his fourth win of the night and brings about a 4-2 to Hackney to once again extend their lead. And the progressive scores now, with just 2 heats to go, is Hackney 47, Eastbourne 31. Penultimate heat coming up, and once again Eastbourne team manager Gareth Rogers resisted the temptation to use tactical substitutes. So we've gone through the card in programme rides, and reading across the grid for heat number 14, in yellow and black it's Justin Walker, in blue Roland Pollard, in white Brian Nixon, and on the outside Tim Hunter. And it's Justin Walker who leads into the first bend. Roland Pollard pushed wide there, but he's managed to hold on to second place. Brian Nixon in third, and it looks as if Eastbourne might well gain an advantage out of this heat, as Pollard is holding a second place, but out in the lead it's Justin Walker, and he looks as if he's safe in that number 1 position, although Pollard will be doing his best to get up and collect another win. But certainly Walker has improved with every ride tonight. Obviously he's not fixed up with the track so far this year, and we'll be hoping that his performance here at Hackney tonight will alert promoters to his availability. So with 1 lap to go, it's Walker who leads from Pollard. In third place Nixon. Tim Hunter some way off the pace at the back, but Roland Pollard mounting a bit of a charge now, coming round the last bend, but Walker holding on to that first place, and he takes the checkered flag ahead of Roland Pollard. In third place is Brian Nixon. So it's a 4-2 to Eastbourne, reducing the deficit a little, but nothing like enough to win the match. And progressively, with 1 heat to go, it's Hackney 49, Eastbourne 35. We come to the final race of this challenge match.